On the Friday night she disappeared, Private First Class Kelli Bordeaux had been excited about going out to have some fun after another hard week at Fort Bragg.
He's like, okay, have fun, be careful, I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Everything seemed normal.
Oh yeah.
Kelli wouldn't drink and drive, so her new acquaintance, Nicholas Holbert, had given her a ride to Froggy Bottoms, where he worked as a general helper.
Went and picked her up. We went back to the bar, played pool, drinks, sung karaoke. Everything was going good.
Kelli had even told boyfriend Justin Thompson, who was living in Florida, that Nick was taking her to the bar. And Justin, who met Nick with Kelli at the bar just a week earlier, wasn't happy about it.
I said to be afraid of Nicholas. I told her he was creepy.
And what did she say?
She's like, I'll be fine. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I even texted her that night before she left. I was like, you better bring your pepper spray.
Private Eye David Marshburn, who conducted his own investigation of the Kelli Bordeaux case, says Nick considered their night at Froggy Bottoms a date, but Kelli didn't.
She was there to have fun. That's all it was. She was there as a friend. He was there as trying to be a boyfriend.
But Kelli just thought of him as a drinking buddy.
They went to the bar, and she basically didn't pay him any attention. She was singing, cutting up, flirting with other guys, you know, just being friendly.
Kelli would leave Froggy Bottoms with Nick sometime after midnight.
She had had a few drinks at this point.
Right, but she wasn't drunk. Her bar tab wasn't enough to make somebody dizzy.
Nick would later tell cops that he dropped Kelli off near her apartment. And boyfriend Justin received a text from Kelli's cell phone later that night reading, quote, "Got home safe, I'm going to bed, call me tomorrow."
It was so weird. She just like the text message before that was, hey, call me, call me, call me.
He did, constantly, all weekend, to no avail.
You can't get a hold of your
Can't get a hold
girlfriend.
of her.
You're calling her, you're texting her, nothing's
happens.
happening.
So he alerted Kelli's family.
And he's like, no, something's up, something happened, like something's going on, and he knew immediately.
Then when Kelli doesn't report for duty at Fort Bragg on Monday morning, and there's no sign of her at the apartment, friends, family, and Army brass really get worried.
That's not Kelli, especially not Kelli. She's a soldier, and that's always first and foremost. Her superiors knew that this wasn't a soldier that went AWOL.
Kelli is reported missing to police, and a massive search is mounted.
I did the first interview with the media and was just begging and crying and just begging for anybody who knew anything. My sister was missing and I needed help finding her.
The search efforts were tremendous.
I mean,
Search.
four-wheelers, horseback,
helicopters,
people in
all
boats.
the assets you can imagine.
They called for volunteers to come out and help search, and I think it was around 500 people showed up.
Among them, Nick Holbert and Kelli's estranged hubby, Michael, who, along with her boyfriend, Justin, were the cops' main persons of interest.
In most of these cases, they're going to look at anyone who is connected to this person, especially anyone who is having a relationship.
They broke it down in like a circle. So they said, Kelli's in the middle. We're gonna look at the people closest to her first.
And because Nick was the last known person to see Kelli before she vanished, he was immediately under heavy suspicion.
I think right off the bat, Holbert was...
As soon as we knew that Holbert was the
main
last
suspect.
person to see her,
But it seemed like everyone in Fayetteville had their own idea of who might have had something to do with Kelli's disappearance.
I thought it was Mike,
Why did you think it was
because
Mike?
it's always the husband or the estranged husband.
So you weren't even looking at anyone else. You were thinking
No,
at that time.
in the back of my mind, it was Mike Bordeaux.
that's her spouse, and they're separated, and it's questionable.
Staff writer Nancy McCleary of the Fayetteville Observer says she found Mike's behavior suspicious after he'd rushed up from Florida to join the search for Kelli.
He was very distraught, very emotional.
The police were reportedly also highly suspicious of Mike.
The police department's person of interest, number one person of interest, and I do know this for a fact, was the husband, not Nick.
Mike had provided police with a verified alibi that he was at his home in St. Cloud, Florida, hundreds of miles from Fayetteville, North Carolina, when his estranged wife disappeared. But Nancy McCleary says there was widespread talk among local media that it was still possible for him to have slipped into Fayetteville and harmed Kelli.
It was about a 6-hour drive, and we figured that given that she had last been seen leaving the bar between midnight and 2 a.m. and that she wasn't discovered missing until much later, that gives him ample time
To get down there.
to get down there and get back.
But Michael Bordeaux had his own suspect in mind.
The first name I heard of was Justin.
The other man who had won his wife's affection away from him.
Had you ever met Justin?
No.
Next, Michael Bordeaux breaks his silence to speak for the first time about the tragic love triangle in a tearful interview with Crime Watch Daily.
She's like a dream girl, really. So